Oh my God!
The Chapin family is celebrating.
We couldn't believe when we got it. You should have heard him. He was screaming for joy.
Just days ago, they moved from the Bay to the Roseville Rocklin area. But finding their new home wasn't easy.
I'm gonna say we probably toured between 20 or 30 homes.
For months, they scoured real estate all across the greater Sacramento region.
So we started in El Dorado Hills and moved around to Folsom, to Roseville, Rocklin, Loomis.
After losing out on 9 previous bids,
One home in Loomis, which I fell in love with, I think, what did it go over? Like 150,000 over asking or something crazy.
they knew they had to move quick and placed a winning offer on their home without ever stepping foot in it.
So our real estate agent FaceTimed us through the house.
The tough competition was surprising.
Coming from the North Bay, we thought we might be able to find our dream home and have it be a little bit more affordable. We found that there were a lot of people like us doing the same thing and competing with each other.
And their family isn't alone. Research found that the number of people moving away from the Bay Area during the pandemic doubled. And a lot of those folks are moving right here to Roseville and Rocklin.
Specifically, Rocklin was named by Money Magazine one of the top 50 places in the nation to live, with its top-rated schools, low crime rate, and assortment of amenities. And a new report from real estate agency Zillow said Rocklin was the most in-demand market within the Sacramento region.
All right, welcome to this beautiful home in Rocklin, California. Come on in. We are just under 2,500 square feet.
Real estate agent Kevin McDonald has been working in Rocklin and the surrounding region for nearly 2 decades.
It's been incredible, the dynamics of how the areas have changed.
But part of Rocklin's appeal is how the city anticipated and planned for change and development.
Majority of Rocklin was built up after Stanford Ranch in the late 80s, and it became this community that was a master plan community.
Everything from large parks to housing developments to street and highways was designed, McDonald says, with the ability for growth and for people to easily get around. And we've seen that growth explode in our area. Research shows in the last 5 years, the greater Sacramento region has grown faster than all major California markets, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego.
I mean, we've heard over 100 offers on certain places and going hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. There was recently a place that sold for $1 million over asking.
With interest rising, the market has normalized a bit more.
Average price is around $750,000 in Rocklin.
Right around the price of the home he was selling as we conducted this interview.
Big open kitchen.
But what will make homes like this even more appealing is that Rocklin is nearing its capacity.
Basically, there's no more open land to build on. When they're fully built out, all that usually happens is values rise and you're gonna have very desirable properties because a lot of people want it and you can't build any more of it.
And while Rocklin tried to develop their roadways for accessibility, they're getting more and more congested.
A lot of people use this road right here that we're on at Sunset and Pacific to cut across so they can get off and avoid 65 altogether. Works out well for us.
Moxa Brewing is known and loved by new and old Rocklin residents alike.
Well, obviously beer is very communal.
And where people congregate is, of course, at the award-winning brewery.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people, a lot of new people, a lot of new faces. But yeah, you just see an influx.
And while the influx of people moving to areas like Roseville and Rocklin is bringing up the cost of living and housing, some experts believe that it's a great thing for the greater Sacramento region.
So Greater Sacramento was one of the last regions to recover in the country after the Great Recession in '08.
The Greater Sacramento Economic Council says the main reason is because then Sacramento's economy was focused on one thing: government jobs.
And when you're heavily focused on one industry, especially a government job, It doesn't add what's called a multiplier effect. It doesn't add or create additional jobs.
She says it's important to diversify the greater Sacramento region's economy to make sure the area is prospering and growing. And with people moving from the Bay, they're bringing well-paying tech jobs here.
So for every one high-wage tech job creates an additional 3 to 5 jobs in other industries. So that one job would create an additional job for a hairdresser or a lawyer or a doctor.
Without people moving to our area and creating new jobs and industries, it would become stagnant and people would leave.
Yeah, so in Detroit, for example, the population has declined. They prospered on the auto industry, and then when manufacturing left, their economy died.
It's why her agency works to bring companies here to create more jobs. And one of the most appealing things we have going is our talent pool.
We have so many universities within a 90-mile radius.
The greater Sacramento region has more students enrolled in a 2 to 4 year institution within 100 miles than Phoenix, Austin, Seattle, and Portland.
The more students you have and the more educated your population, the easier it is to recruit companies to your region.
And with more demand of people moving here, companies often expand, like Moxa Brewing, who is partnering with Hawks Public House to create a new restaurant right on the Rocklin-Roseville border.
There's just not a lot of businesses to support out there, all that growth, so we're getting in pretty early out there.
With the Shapins moving here, they brought their firm Left Coast Marketing, Design, and Photography.
We feel very fortunate for the opportunity to pick up our business and move here.
They're also excited to send their girls into the top-notch public school system.
I don't really know anyone yet, but hopefully I'll meet some people.
But for longtime residents, it can be a challenge seeing the areas they've known and loved change and prices increase. As for that, the Shapin family has a message.
I feel like we're coming here to become integrated into the community versus try to change the community.
And this is the next chapter of our lives.
And I think this is the perfect place to do that. Yeah.